Here I stand, light-footed, at the edge of the world, unchained, untethered. The soles of my feet barely touching the ground. Gravity's become cloudy now. Nothing is holding me back anymore. In truth, only one thing would. Always was and is and always be. My choice alone that ever could. For what I choose to surround will either free or bound. And the choice for either one is within me found. Here I stand now, no longer suited, ready to leave the world. I'm unrestrained, unfettered. The tip of my toes only skimming the ground. Gravity is losing me now. One by one, they all fell away. Everyone and everything for that season it seemed. The tragic hero was I, with every scene just suffering. My hands were scorched and my feet set afire by who and what I held and where I long stood. But I breathed my last sigh, raised my gaze to the sky. I ascend now within to my good. Here I am now, light-hearted, no longer part of the world. I'm reclaimed, reconnected. The sight of the ground can no longer be found. Gravity has no claim on me. Gravity is imaginary. Here I am, light-hearted, no longer part of the world. I'm reclaimed, reconnected. The sight of the ground can no longer be found. Gravity has no claim on me. Gravity imaginary. Here I am, light-hearted, no longer part of the world. I'm reframed, reconnected. And what is the ground? It's just a word, only sound. Gravity doesn't exist for me. Everything is imaginary.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is. The time here is about 2:59 in the morning. It's about 10 minutes away from go time. Hey, Fox at Bat, welcome in. Good to see you. It's time for another Astros win. Absolutely. Abso-smurfly. Smurfin' A, you might even say. I think that even with Jordan not in the lineup today, I was taking a look at some stats earlier. All right, I am trying to reconnect here. Okay, now they are on commercial break. Let me reconnect. Try to reconnect the chat. Refresh. Try that. Okay, it seems to be good to go now. I apologize for that. Suddenly completely lost my connection because Starlink went off. Sometimes I have a disconnect for a few seconds before it reconnects because the dish outside automatically readjusts. It is an articulating dish. That means that it moves around and it's self-automated. It does it by itself. So the good thing about a dish like that, it's a flat dish and it moves around to get the best connection. The good thing about that is that, well, it moves around and gets the connection. The downside is that because it's not a round dish, you can't point it in one particular spot to get all of the connection all the time. So it has to move. It must move regularly. And but just now it disconnected me for a while. So it took me a moment to get it worked out. I didn't really have to do anything on my part. If the connection goes out, there's really not much I can do except wait. I do have my phone here, which I can use as a backup connection. It doesn't work as wonderfully as my Starlink connection, but of course my Starlink connection sometimes goes a little bonkers, so I apologize about that. Let's see here. I wonder if the chat Okay, there it is. For some reason the chat there it is. Okay, it's finally up. For some reason the chat was frozen too. But it's up now, as you can clearly see. So we're good to go. Now I can see your comments. I'm sorry about that. A little bit of a disconnect. Welcome in Fox at Bat, Gregory Martinez, Old Dog, Abel Rodriguez. Look at all these members coming in first. You guys are awesome. Well, Abel, the next emoji, if I'm not mistaken, I need a few more members before I can do another emoji. I think we're at 27 members right now, and when we get to 30 members, I can get another emoji, and I will add Jordan for sure. I think Jordan is definitely the next guy to add. But before he can be added, need some more members. So promote the membership to everyone else. And try to push people to join. Today's lineup for the STROS. Let me move this over so I can actually see. There we go. Jeremy Pena leading it off. Shortstop. Batting second, Carlos Correa at third base. Altuve batting third, the DH position. Batting cleanup is Christian Walker, first base, of course. Batting fifth is Ramon Urias at second base. Batting sixth is Cam Smith in right field. Batting seventh is Mauricio Dumont in left field. Chas McCormick batting eighth in center field. And Cesar Salazar, catching again today, batting ninth. He's got that whopping 111 batting average and the 311 OPS. He is stellar. The way he hit the ball yesterday, so weak down the first base side. I couldn't help but shake my head. I think if my daughter, when she was 5 years old, if she had bunted the ball, it would have been harder than that. Bad Bird Outdoors says, we need to get our bats going. I agree. Restore that confidence. Alexander's warming up on the mound right now. He'll be ready to go in just a few moments. Maybe about 1 minute from now. Hey, Ed. Good to see you. Yep. Jordan's already got a day off. He comes back, plays 2 games, and takes a day off. But, you know, just like you said, it is what it is. The only person in the Rockies lineup right now that has faced Jason Alexander is Mickey Moniak, and he's only faced him a couple of times. Nobody else in this lineup, this Rockies lineup, has faced Jason Alexander. They're going to be seeing him for the first time today. Well, the next series is not against the Mariners, though. We're going to be playing a 4-game series against the Angels, so it's going to be a little while before we play the Mariners. But we do have a long stretch. I believe we have a lot of games to play in a row on this homestand. No games off for a while, or no days off for a while. Maybe 10 days, at least. Something like that. There's everybody's favorite player, Chas McCormick. Best pitcher / bunter that we have on the team, right? Here comes the first pitch from Alexander on the outside edge, 91 miles an hour, strike one. That's a good way to start it. Tyler Freeman is at the plate facing Mr. J.A. 92 sinker on the inside, swing and a miss. 0-2 just like that. Hey, DeLion, welcome in. Hey, Brendan, hello to you. Go Stros, go Stros, go Stros. 2 pitches, 2 strikes. Here comes the third pitch. High and outside. One ball, 2 strikes to Mr. Freeman here in the top of the first. Here's a toss. Swing and a miss. 81 in the bottom of the zone on the changeup. Got him. 4-pitch strikeout for Jason Alexander. Nice. Swing and a miss right at the bottom of the zone. Good toss. Mickey Moniak. This is the only guy that's ever faced Jason Alexander 2 times. And he's 1 for 2. He fouls that one off for strike 1. Batting .259 for the season. Swing and a miss on the outside edge. Another 0-2 count. That was a changeup. Very nice. That next pitch is another changeup, low and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hey, Ken. Good to see you. Welcome back. Here's a pitch. Little high on the fastball. 2-2 is the count. You said that you were thinking today would be an acid test for Alexander. Why is that? Is it because he's never faced these guys? Or rather, they've never faced each other. There we go. Another strikeout. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts. Boom, baby. 81 right below the zone. 2 up and 2 down. 2 strikeouts on 9 pitches for Mr. Alexander. Here comes the next batter, Kyle Caros. He takes that pitch outside for ball 1. Man, Salazar is such a short guy. And he looks shorter than Altuve. Here comes the toss. This is grounded to Correa, who has plenty of time to throw it over. 2 strikeouts and a chopper ground out. Alexander, with about 11 pitches, gets through the first inning no problem. It's kind of inning I like to see. 11 pitches, 2 strikeouts, 1 ground out. The ball didn't leave the infield. It didn't get into the air. I like it all around. Man, why is my chat... Oh, I see. Okay. The chat in my... There we go. Okay. My chat in my software was showing that it couldn't connect. I was wondering why that was, but I just had something else was selected and I didn't select it. It just automatically changed by itself. I love it when that happens. That often happened with Prism software. When there would be a Windows update, it would automatically change some of my settings, and whenever I'd log in to get ready to stream the next game, the audio wouldn't be working, and I would have to figure out what changed. I can't stand that about technology. You don't give it any permission at all to change your settings, but whenever it updates automatically, you're over there asleep, and it automatically updates your settings and changes things. And then whenever you turn it on, your software doesn't work like it's supposed to, and you got to go digging through it to figure out what went wrong. So ridiculous. Jeremy Pena is at the plate. First pitch from Kyle Freeland on the way. Pena hits it out to center field, but it's going to be easily catchable. The right fielder takes it. 1 down on 1 pitch. Jeremy Pena's batting average is about 400 the last time I saw the stat, when he swings on the first pitch. So I can't really fault him about swinging when he sees a good pitch on that first one. Carlos Correa at the plate. 88 in the top of the zone, strike 1. So the flash goes down. South Korea's at the plate. Thanks, Abel. I appreciate that. I need to double check, but I think that I have to have 30. Right now I'm at 27. I think that I have to have 30 before I can get another emoji, but we'll see. I'll check it later. I know that I can't make another one right now. I'm just assuming that I need to get to 30. Fouled off by Correa. And that is an 0-2 count. Come on, bro. Let's get on base. He hits it up the middle. It's going to be backhanded by the shortstop, who makes a nice throw over to first base to get the out. Another Freeman. That brings up my hero, Jose Altuve. You know he's playing at home when he comes to the plate, and the people actually cheer instead of boo. High and outside Altuve. This is a guy that we need to get heated up, that's for sure. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Woo! Ooh, that was a nice knuckle curve, low and inside, swing and a miss. 1-1 is the count with 2 outs, nobody on. Ken says he gets sick of Windows doing stuff like that on a steady basis. Switch to Linux. Well, when time and money comes around, I'll do the same thing. 85 on the outside edge, the changeup called a strike 2. No yard on today. There we go. Come on, baby. Snap, snap, snap. Yes, it is an Altuve snap. It is. Altuve with the home run to the Crawford boxes, just barely in there. I mean, on the front row of the Crawford boxes, line drive home run for Jose Altuve. I knew I put on my Altuve jersey for a reason today. Look at this. High fastball, and he just line drives it out there, and it was just barely in the top. At the top, look how close this was. Front row. Yeah, right in the corner there. Perfect. Christian Walker at the plate. He takes a hack at the next pitch. Misses it for strike 1. 1-0 STROS. Yeah, barely got the Altuve snap in there right in time. Just as I put that snap in the chat, he hit it. That was nice. Man, Altuve needed that so bad. 0-2, the count on Walker after that foul ball. 2 outs. Look how cleanly shaven he is. He's looking respectable. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, 1-2. Yeah, that was quick. 2 outs and an Altuve homer. I'll take it. Who needs Jordan? Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Freeland. Fouled away. Count remains 1-2. Well, what I mean, Ken, is that to get a new computer and get all that set up and everything would cost money. I don't want to take an existing computer and try to do that. If I do that, or when I do that, I want to get a new computer, new setup and everything, and really beef it up. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have the time and money. It's way down the list of things to do. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Walker. Way outside, full count. He indeed is a G. A G? A Gregory G? Look how short he is here. He's shorter than the girl is. That's hilarious. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. That's hit out hard out to right field. It might be dangerous. It is. It's a homer. Christian Walker with an opposite field homer. It just kept going and going and going. Back-to-back homers. Crawford boxes for Altuve, an opposite field homer for Christian Walker. It just kept going and going and going. How about that? Astros with 2 home runs in the first inning. Little bit of Skywalker going on right there. 91 mile per hour four-seam fastball on the outside of the plate. Just snuck it in the corner. Look at that. That brings up Ramon Urias. The homer guys giving each other some love. Here comes the next pitch to Urias. Outside, 2-0. There's Jordan right there. Man, he's a big guy. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Urias swings and misses at that one. The cutter right in the bottom of the zone. Bagwell. Well, he's never going to be a Bagwell. Never going to be a Bagwell. He can have moments like a Bagwell, but he'll never be Bagwell. Too far inside and low. 3 balls and 1 strike to Urias. He's keeping the inning going. Freeland up to 19 pitches. Here comes the 20th. That's fouled back. Cam Smith on deck. 3 balls and 2 strikes. What's up, Patrick? Big Patrick. Energizer Bunny home run. Here comes the next pitch. Bottom of the zone and called a strike 3. Urias was not happy about that one. But we have 2 home runs. It's 2-0. There's one by Altuve. And then another one by Christian Walker. Back-to-back jacks. Opposite fields. 2-0 Strizos. And that's how it goes for Mr. Freeland. 3 up and 3 down for Alexander in the first inning. Couple of solo homers for the Astros against Freeland. And now we go to the top of the second with a lead. We already have half as many runs as we had the entire game yesterday. Astros are saying Jordan is not the only one that can hit a homer. Man, if Jordan were in the game today, it'd be 3-0 probably. Coors Field South. Must be. Mark says, I know it's early, but bartender gave me a double shot of Jack for the back-to-back. Man. It's 3:24 a.m. here. There are probably a lot of people partying somewhere in Hiroshima City and in Tokyo and Osaka that are having some Jack right now. But in the afternoon, it is a little early in the U.S., right, to be drinking? Unless it's Mardi Gras in Louisiana, then it's from the time you wake up you start drinking. Gregory says Mr. 39 man until Bags got hit on the hand, MVP type. They're showing some of the stats of Alexander this month. 1.54 ERA, that's nuts. Opponent batting average 176. That's the best on the Astros roster right now. Insane. First pitch is in there, 89-mile-per-hour strike to Jordan Beck. Starting off all these batters with strikes. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Another one right in there. Look at that. He takes 2 strikes in a row. 0-2. What do you want to bet he throws a changeup right here and strikes him out? Here comes the toss. Yes, it is. Look at that. I got it. I called it. Changeup and a strikeout. Perfectly placed right below the zone. I kid you not. See that? 3 pitches. 2 right down the middle, and then a changeup right below the zone for the swing and miss. Man, Alexander is something else. Even if you know what he's going to throw, he still can't hit it. He throws the Swiffer there to start off Brenton Doyle. And that is a ball. 1-0 with 1 out, nobody on. Here in the top of the second, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 90 miles an hour on the stinker. Cesar Salazar is the catcher today, Brendan. Caratini won't be back for about 5 or 6 more days, and Diaz is still resting. Taking some time off. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on the changeup, low and in the zone there in the lower inner corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yes, riding high, baby. Outside, riding high like Doobie. 1:30 Central Standard Time. Yeah, that's a little early to be drinking for sure. Swing and a miss, another strikeout. Look at that, holy freaking cow. 4 of 5 batters swing and a miss strikeouts. Man, and that was on a sweeper. A nice little Swiffer. Well, that's a silly poll. They're asking, who's your pitcher of the month? Brian Abreu, Jason Alexander, or Hunter Brown? Who do you think they're going to choose? Here comes the pitch. This is grounded foul. 0-1. What a useless poll that is. It's gonna have to be more than 80 or 85% Jason Alexander. They're asking which one of these pitchers is your pitcher of the month. Do you really think that there's gonna be? I mean, I know Abreu has been locked down, but there's no way that it's gonna be less than 85%. I think for Jason Alexander. That's out of the zone for ball one. 1-1. Thank you so much, Caesar. This is my Altuve jersey. Here comes the next pitch. He bounces that one down the third baseline, but it is foul. 1-2 is the count. Gregory says, I want to get a Bagwell jersey. Can you help, Brent? Dude, I can get anything, basically. I mean, I have a lot of friends in China. Do you want me to send you a cheaper one from China or something? Is that what you're looking for? Because I know you can get one in the U.S. It's just going to cost like, what, $200, $300? Fouled at the plate. The count remains 1-2. This jersey, it's funny because this jersey, when I bought it, actually came from America, but it was made in Indonesia. So it was made in Indonesia, sent to America for sale, and when I bought it, it was shipped over here to Japan. Isn't that funny? 81 in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And hello to you, Caesar. Good to see you here. Caesar, how can you be in the chat when you're catching in the game right now? How is it possible? Low and outside, full count. 2 outs, 2 balls. I'm sorry, 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. I'll get it right. Top of the second. Alexander now up to 25 pitches. Let's see if he can get out of it right here. He puts in the bottom of the zone on the stinker, but it's chopped foul. The score is 2-0, Texas Dave. Astros had 2 solo homers in the first inning. Altuve and then Christian Walker back to back. How about that? Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Right in there, another strikeout. 5 strikeouts. 5 batters strike out swinging against Jason Alexander in the first 2 innings. We have 6 outs in a row. 5 of those strikeout. How about that? How about that? Wow. Let's see here. David H. Town says, I think it will be Abreu. No way. I'm gonna say no way. If I don't bet, but if I were to bet, I would say 100%. 100% it's gonna be Jason Alexander. No way that people choose Abreu over Jason Alexander. Impossible. Abreu has done well, but Alexander has been Superman. There's just no comparison. Let's see here. Mark says 70. Actually, I think we could put that on a poll, right? Pitcher of the month. Pitcher of the, let's do the same poll. Okay. Alexander, Abreu, or Brown. Those are the choices, right? There we go. We'll do our own poll and see. And we can compare. How about that? There is a poll in the chat right now. Who's the Astros pitcher of the month? We have 3 choices. Brian Abreu, Jason Alexander, or Hunter Brown. We're going to compare it with the results on the screen later on. They've got a STROS poll going on right now. We'll see how it compares. First pitch to Cam Smith. Low and inside. Swing and a miss. Cam actually has pretty good results so far against Freeland. Here's the pitch. 81 right in there. The Swiffer. Strike 2. 0-2. Yeah, I think it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of silly that they have a reliever mixed in there. But at the same time, I think I understand why. We don't have any other starters. Swing and a miss by Cam. He goes down on 3 pitches. Swings and misses, takes a pitch, strike, swings and misses. Mauricio Dubon at the plate. Dubon has had some good success. He has faced this pitcher a lot. 6 for 16 and a home run. He has about a 6% chance of getting a homer against this guy. That's in there for strike 1. But Gregory, let me ask you a question. Why do you want a Bagwell jersey from here? What's the reason? He hits this one into center field. Is it going to drop? Yes, it is. That's a single for Doobie. It's not a Doobie double. It's a Doobie single. Doobie doobie doo. Roo, Ruby Ruby Roo. Nice smooth swing right up the middle. Boom, baby. 1 out, runner on first. And that brings up Chaz-tastic, baby. Hi, baby, it's Chaz-tastic. Chazmanian Devil at the plate. There's the toss. Swing and a miss. The Swiffer. 85 miles an hour inside. 0-1 is the count. Ken says the only ones I have are Bagwell and Biggio. My catcher's mitt is signed by Scott Cervantes and Brian McMahon. That's pretty cool. I have Biggio and Altuve. That's all I've got for jerseys. Here's the toss. That's hit out to right field. Sails off into the crowd. And that means strike 2. 0-2 to Mr. Chaz. You said my coworkers will be jealous, but what's the difference between getting a jersey from here and getting one there in the U.S.? Here's the pitch. Ooh, did he hit him? He's trying to decide if it hit him. He's going to say hit by pitch. Isn't that funny? Chaz doesn't think he got hit. I don't know. Did he get his hand? That's funny. Chaz is trying to talk him out of a hit by pitch. Isn't that crazy? The commentators are like, what? Chaz didn't want to take the base. He said, I wasn't hit. Why would they challenge that? What? Let's take a look. Did that hit his bat? I think that hit his bat. Yeah, I think that definitely hit the bat. Let's see if they overturn it. He wanted a bat. Instead of just taking the base, he said it didn't hit me. Is he just too honest, or does he want to swing? What in the world? Chaz McCormick, what are you doing? Oh, Caesar with the super chat. I'm so wrapped up in what's happening with Chaz right now, I didn't even see that. How about that? Super awesome. Did Chaz get hit? Super chat. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you, Caesar, so much. I'm going to call that the chat. Did Chaz get hit super chat? That's a super Chaz. Thanks for the super Chaz. 200 IQ, says Delian. Yeah, it's super. I don't know. Isn't it silly, though, that the Astros are wasting a challenge on this? Devon has already gone to second. He thinks it's going to be hit by pitch. Chaz refuses to go to first base. He thinks it's definitely not a hit by pitch. And it's taking a really, really long time for New York to figure out what exactly happened. Uh-oh. Do they have the info? Not yet. They're still waiting. Still waiting. Joe Spot is like, SMH, you know, smack my head. Chaz is over there warming up, man. He really wants to hit. He's like, screw this. I wasn't hit by no pitch. Do they have it? There's the review booth. Finally, here it comes. Oh, they overturned it. They said it's a foul ball. Chaz is right. He could have just gone to first. They probably wouldn't have said anything. But he was insistent. I did not get hit. That did not hit my hand. Strike 2, the count remains. No, it was not a Rockies challenge. Because they called hit by pitch. Crazy. Here comes the pitch. This is hit out into right field. Is it going to drop? Yes, it is. Chaz comes through. Dubon goes to third. Here's the throw. He's safe in there. Oh, yeah. They said don't doubt Chaz. When Chaz knows what Chaz wants, Chaz gets it. How about that? Outside, he just went out and got it off the end of the bat on an 0-2 pitch. All of that was not... It was worth the wait. Chaz McCormick, thank you so much. We have runners on the corners with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. He is shaking his hand there. It's kind of ironic. He hurt his hand on that swing, but not on that supposed hit by pitch. Cesar Salazar is at the plate. He shows bunt. He gets it down. Look at that. They're going to have to go to first base. It's a terrible throw. It goes into right field. Cesar Salazar is going to go to second. Chaz to third, and Doobie gets home. Look at that. How about that? 3-0 on the Bad News Bears style defense. Rockies are trying to claim that it should have been interference. They're saying that he ran inside the line. Can't see it from that angle. I don't think so. No, he was on the line. He wasn't on the grass, I don't think. No, he's fine. No, he's good. He's straight down the line. Straight down the line. BS on the side of the Rockies there. Runners on second and third with 1 out. Jeremy Pena is up. How about this baseball? I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. Comedy of errors, old dog. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Here comes the toss. Outside, ball 1 to Pena. I'm pretty sure that Houston challenged that because they said that it was hit by pitch originally. And he was like, I didn't get hit by pitch. He was insistent. He wanted to bat for some reason. Pena hits it pretty hard, but it's going to be high in the air. Might not be deep enough for a tag. Chaz pretends to tag. Doesn't go, and that's out number 2. Runners remain on second and third. Carlos Correa comes to the plate. So the flash gives way to South Korea. Tim says Chaz better get a hit, and he sure did, didn't he? It did pay off. Here comes the first pitch to Correa. This is hit high in the air. That's probably going to be out number 3. Second baseman is under it, and that's it. No more runs. Man, all of that for 1 run. It felt like we were about to blow it up there with like 3 more runs. 3-0 Astros. Thanks to some nonsense. Thanks to some nonsense by Chaz McCormick. I didn't get hit by pitch. I didn't get hit by pitch. I was off my bat. I was off my bat. I think you were hit by pitch. You should go to first base. No, I was not hit. He was insistent. What kind of nonsense is that? It worked out. It worked out. 5 hits for the Astros in the first 2 innings. Three runs on the board. Should be 5 runs on the board. Should be 5 and 5. 1 error on the part of the Rockies. No hits, no runs for the Rockies so far. They're having a rocky day, that's for sure. How many pitches now for their pitcher? 34 pitches in 2 innings. 26 strikes for Mr. Freeland. 27 for Alexander. 13.5 average per inning so far for Alexander. He's cruising along. 17 pitches per inning on average for Freeland. That was a circus. Indeed it was. I'm glad you were wrong about the double play there, Ken. Gregory, Cam might see another homer tonight because he actually has hit pretty good against this guy the few times he's faced him. So we'll see. Gregory, thanks for coming in. I see that you said you're late to the show, but welcome in. I missed some of these comments because I was a little busy with the Chaz situation. Here's the first pitch by Alexander. Strike 1 right in there to Warmin Bernabell. Are you warming yet, Bernabell? You've been cold ever since your man passed away. You've been a widow too long. This is hit into center field, but McCormick is underneath it for out number 1. 2 pitch, 1 out. But yeah, Gregory, I didn't see an answer to the question. If you posted it somewhere in there, I'm sorry if I missed it, but because if I order a jersey here in Japan, it is not made in Japan, you know what I'm saying? 91 on the outside edge, strike 1 to Mr. Braxton Fulford. 1 is definitely better than none, I agree with that. Unless it's the 9th inning and you're down by 2 or more. 1 ball, 1 strike. Braxton Fulford. That's low and outside. Braxton Fulford sounds like a name of a guy that could be in a story with Bernabell, with Warming Bernabell. Warming Bernabell, I heard that Braxton Fulford has something on you. Something like that. I'm creating a story, an entire narrative for the Rockies. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He calls a little timeout. He's probably got Bernabell on his mind. Yep. Looks like the STROS are getting it done on both sides. That's right. They sure are. Up and in. Fouled off. Oh, you're just saying it'd be awesome to get a jersey from me. Okay. Well, you know, the cool thing is if I get you something here and I mail it from here, the packaging will be from Hiroshima, Japan. So if that's what you're talking about, I could also put something else in there. Maybe if you want, I could get a Hiroshima Carp baseball team hat or a Hiroshima Carp jersey or something from the Hiroshima Carp baseball team. Put that in there too. Put in a couple of Japanese snacks. That's a base hit to right field. First hit of the game for the Rockies. Runner on first base with 1 out. But anyway, Gregory, let me know. For anybody who wants to do anything, if you're interested in getting anything from Japan, it doesn't matter what it is, you can let me know. I used to actually do that. You can't see this, but in the other room in there, I have about 8 boxes, 8 huge boxes. This is hit up the middle. Holy cow. Yanquiel Fernandez. Fulford goes to third base on that hit. We have runners on the corners. The very first pitch, he wasn't wasting time. The tying run is at the plate. Tyler Freeman, top of the batting order. But Those large boxes I have in there are filled with anime figures from of various sizes. I was selling those online in America before I got sick. I need to sell those. If you want to buy a huge box, I'll ship it to you. And you can sell them individually. I'd be happy to sell them in bulk. I've got a few hundred of them. First pitch is fouled away by Freeman. Here comes the 0-1, 39th pitch of the game. Oh, he hit him. Bases loaded. Do you know what that means? Just like that, we have an old-timey jam. Yeah, we need a double play now, that's for sure. Got him on the elbow. Ouch. Freeman gets hit. Moniak comes to the plate. Bases loaded with 1 out. Here's the pitch. A little low and outside. Moniak is the only guy in the Rockies lineup that has faced Jason Alexander before. He's 0 for 1 today. This is hit to second. A little toss by Urias to second base. A great play, but Pena has no chance to go to first base. Urias with a great play to grab it, to backhand it, and flip it with his glove to Pena to get the out at second base. 1 run will score, but what a great play to get the out at second base. Can't see it there. That's a terrible angle. I don't know why they show it. This is better. Nice. Woo, barely. First pitch to Kyle Carros is outside, ball 1. 3-1. Astros up by 2. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Here comes the next pitch from Alexander. A little below the zone on the stinker. 2 balls and no strikes. We got a third. How did we get a third run? It's a little hard to explain. But you could say it was because of an error. We had a couple of guys on base, and Cesar Salazar bunted the ball, and they threw the ball into right field. The pitcher threw the ball into right field when he tried to go to first base. 2 balls and 1 strike to Carros. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss in the bottom of the zone. 2-2. Look at that. That's nice. Anyway, on that wild throw out into right field, the Astros scored their 3rd run. So there you go. It was definitely exciting and crazy, but not as amazing as seeing a home run, of course. Here comes the 2-2 pitch with 2 outs and 2 on. Nice! Swing and a miss. 79 changeup. Low and outside. Another strikeout. They get 1 run. Find a way to get a couple of hits off of Alexander. Put together a little bit of a rally, but they come away with 1. The Astros have a 2-run lead going into the bottom of the 3rd. Jose Altuve due up next, followed by Christian Walker and Ramon Urias. All right. I think Gregory, and this goes for anybody else, but Gregory in particular, since you're asking, my email is on my page. So if you want to communicate directly, just email me there and let me know the kind of stuff you're interested in, and we'll work it out. I'll tell you how much it costs, and I'd be happy to do that for you. Actually, I also have to get together my 1,000 subscriber giveaway, because I have some stuff here already. Actually, like I have some Japanese snacks right here. Some very unique Japanese snacks. I guarantee you've never tasted anything like that. And then some of these are like coffee candy-coated coffee-flavored peanuts made in Japan. I've also got some. These are like bugles, Japanese bugles. They're very delicious. And a couple packs of my favorite Japanese coffee company, Sado Tehiko. These are pour-overs. And then also have Hiroshima Carp baseball shirt, a retro shirt to give away. And also, it's over there. I don't have it right here, but it's over there. I have a Jose Altuve baseball card. It's a Tokyo Series card for whenever the MLB Stars came and played in Japan a few years ago. So all of that is going to go to the main winner. And then I have a few postcards over here that I'm going to send out to some second, third, and fourth place winners. Jose Altuve is at the plate, takes the first pitch for ball one. He's got a solo homer. Ooh, 90 miles an hour right in there. It looked like he wanted to go after that one. 1-1 is the count. I hope so. I really wanted to give some of those Kit Kat chocolates, but it's just too hot. I would have to find a way to wrap those in some kind of cool container that would last for several days, and I just don't think that that's going to happen. 2 balls and 1 strike to Altuve. Here comes the toss. Ooh, again, right in there. The knuckle curve right in the middle of the zone. 2-2 is the count. It's okay, Mark. No problem. Is it because of drinking? Just kidding. Bottom of the zone, strike 3. Altuve stands there, doesn't swing at anything. He just keeps taking pitches. He's shaking his head. He didn't like that one, but that was in the bottom of the zone. Got to swing at that. So Altuve owns it. The first at bat. They're laughing at Altuve almost having a cycle, but he tripped when he went around second base, so he didn't get it. That's so Altuve. Christian Walker at the plate. He also had a home run his last at bat. Solo homer to the right field fence. That's a strike. 0-1. 1 out, nobody on. Here in the bottom of the third, here's the toss. That's another strike in the bottom of the zone. Look at this. Altuve and Walker have taken 5 strikes. Look at them, they're shaking their heads. Somebody was just yelling, "It's a strike. It's a freaking strike. That's not a freaking strike." The Astros dugout's complaining, but come on, these are strikes, guys. Be quiet. Shut up. Don't be babies. Shut up and play ball. Shut up and play ball. It's not Little League. Come on. Walker pops this one up. That's going to be an out, an easy out. Taken by the second baseman, out number 2. Don't be those guys, Astros. Don't be those guys yelling about pitches at the bottom of the zone. Those are clearly in the zone. Ramon Urias comes to the plate. Struck out his last at bat. Nobody's on right now with 2 outs. 42 pitches. Here comes number 43 from Freeland. Low and outside, ball 1. I don't know. Ken. I don't know what kind of pitch he was waiting. I think he was just trying to walk. I don't get it. You know, he was all swinging and hitting homers. The last at bat is like boom. He was all over it, and then suddenly he doesn't want to swing. I don't know what he was waiting on. I really don't know. Sometimes I just don't know. Brendan, what about manga? I got lots of manga. Oh, by the way, I also have some questionable manga. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike to Urias. When I bought this house, I found several boxes of adult manga, I guess you could say. That's hit into left field and down for a hit. Urias 1 for 2 today with a rip to left field there. We now have a base runner in the third for Cam Smith. right in the middle of the plate there. Good solid strike. Maybe if you want, if it's legal for me to do that, maybe I can put one of those in a box if somebody wants it. Put one of those in there. I don't know. I don't know if that's allowed. Below the zone, want to know. Hey, Daryl. It's a 358 here, and it's going all right. How's it going there? Swing and a miss, low and inside. Come on, Cam. You got to get the bat on the ball. Bat to ball. Wood to leather. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. Runner on first. It's a good opportunity to tack a couple more runs on the board, my son. Here comes the next pitch. Right in there. Another strike taken right down the middle on the Swiffer. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Still Viper, just checking in on lunch break. Thank you, sir. It seems you are always working. You must have a long work day, man. You're really putting in the hours. Cam grounds it to shortstop, who lobs it to second base, and that puts out Walker. Fielder's choice. Astros get 1 hit. They're up to 6, but no more runs. The score is 3-1 at the end of 3. 1 error for the Rockies. 2 hits for the Rockies and 6 for the STROS. The Astros are up 3-1. Yeah, that's a good point there, Mark. You said over 100 viewers are only 45 likes. Let me refresh my screen and take a look at that. 50%, 45%, that's not good. Needs to be at least 75%. Well, we got 37 votes on the poll. 50 likes and 100 people. Yeah, that's not good. This is the first time I've mentioned it. I have a tendency to forget, but please like the video on the live stream. Whether you're an Astros fan or not, liking the live stream really helps out a lot. And I know that some of you actually, I can see the analytics to see how many people are watching and listening in on their TVs. And I know that it's not necessarily easy to do that, but if you have just a moment, grab your phone and like the video, or your PC, your tablet, laptop, whatever. I would greatly appreciate that. Try to get those likes up to 75%. Try my best. I try my best to get the likes over 100, but the main thing is to have them over 75%. Right now we have 105 people watching, but only about 50% maybe likes on the live stream. I think I'm gonna close out the poll. If you have not had the opportunity to vote in the poll, go ahead and do that now, because I'm going to close it out in just a few moments. This ball is hit out into left field. Look at that. Doobie all the way over in the corner makes the play on the very first pitch to Jordan Beck, out number 1. 1 up and 1 down. Brenton Doyle comes to the plate in just a moment. Why is it that so many of these players have names that sound like they are part of the Warming Bernabelle Southern historical drama? Brenton Doyle. I heard that you and Mr. Fulfer were fighting over Bernabelle. Or is it just me? I don't know. 0-2 just like that. Strike 1, then a swing and a miss for strike 2 on the Swiffer. Mr. Doyle is about to have to go back down to the farm. I love the way Alexander's shaking off the signs. Looks like a cow shaking off a mosquito. 1 ball and 2 strikes on that pitch. Here comes the next toss. Low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I actually will have One Piece magazine manga. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout. for Jason Alexander. How about that? Two up and two down, one fly out, one strikeout. First pitch to Ezekiel Tovar is fouled off for strike one. I don't have much manga because I don't read manga. But I do have some anime folders, anime pictures, anime cell images, and stuff like that. I have one piece, kind of a graphic novel. I got it for somebody, but then they didn't want it, so it's like this thick. It's kind of big. It's like a graphic novel. Here comes a 1-2 pitch, tapped foul. Count remains 1-2. But Brendan, that's about all I have as far as manga is concerned. Gerald says it's hot today, but a little cooler on the way. That's good. Same here. We've had a heat wave here. Steel Viper says HVAC in Texas. No freaking wonder. No freaking wonder you're so busy. Are you freelance or do you work for a company? They're showing the tunneling of Alexander's pitches, how they split, depending on what it is. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tovar. Fouls it off. Count remains 2-2. Ken, you sound like you're really upset about it. I'm not understanding this. It takes 1 freaking second to click like. I know that's not how you're really saying it, but I just picture that in my mind. At the end of this inning, after this next out, I will end the poll. We've got 42 votes. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here it comes. Full count pitch. Right in there. Fouled off. Count remains full. Daryl says, sounds like Gone with the Wind. Yeah, it does sound kind of like that, right? The Rockies lineup sounds like Gone with the Wind or some kind of other Southern historical drama. This is hit pretty hard out to right field. Cam Smith is back, and it's gone. That was a quiet homer. And one of the Astros fans throws it back on the field immediately. I mean, Ezekiel Tovar, who wants that? But just like that, on a full count with 2 outs, he gets the better of Alexander. It's 3-2. A changeup away that didn't drop. Cam Smith just a couple of feet away from it. Couldn't get there in time. Swing and a miss. Speaking of Bernabell, Bernabell's back at the plate. Swing and a miss for strike one. 0-1. Yeah, Costanza's got to keep it in the park. This is fouled off. 0-2. Brendan, absolutely right. Darn it, indeed. Let's go ahead and end the poll right there. Here's the pitch. This is hit out into left field. Shallow. DeBon has got it. That's out number 3. So Bernabell goes down with that fly ball out in left field. What's she thinking about that, putting that ball out in the cornfield like that? One of these days I'll get to this park. Maybe I should do a fundraiser. That would be a really expensive fundraiser. I don't think you guys would want to support that. A fundraiser to fly me over to Houston and watch a game, do a meetup, and then fly back to Japan, maybe stay in Houston for a few days, catch a couple of games. Heck, I wouldn't want to stay for a couple of days. I'd want to stay for like a week. That'd be awesome to do during playoffs, wouldn't it? I'd have to get a place to stay so I could do the live streams. Would it be possible to do a live stream from the park? How would I do that? I would love to do that, but I don't know how that would work. But if I did a if I did a fundraiser to pay for that, I don't think I would ever meet that goal. It would cost several $1,000s. It takes a lot of time to travel from here to the US. You could just basically say you need to go ahead and just decide on 2 days of traveling, 1 day to get there, 1 day to get back. Because from Hiroshima you can't fly directly to the US. You have to fly to another city. So I'd have to fly either from here to Tokyo or from here to Hong Kong, and then from there could fly to Houston. But the cheaper flight is usually to fly to Los Angeles or Seattle and then transfer to Houston. Doobie is at the plate, and he hits the ball really high on the left side and out of play. Strike one. But yeah, that would be a dream come true to go to Houston and see the Astros play in the playoffs in Daikin Park. That would be, for like an entire series, how awesome would that be? Here comes the next pitch to Doobie. He fouls that one off. A little tapper. 0-2 is the count. So, pitcher of the month in my poll, we'll see how it compares to the Astros poll later on, but right now, 53% of you say Alexander is a pitcher of the month, Abreu is 30%, Brown is 16%. Later on, we'll see how that compares. See how that compares with the Astros poll. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Doobie-Doo. Here comes the next toss from Freeland. That's hit pretty hard in the air, but too much air underneath it. Beck comes in, makes the catch, and that's out number 1. Yeah, I'm gonna put this up and pin it so that we can take a look at it later. Let's see here. Good old Chaz is at the plate, 1 for 1 today. Here's the first pitch, right in there, 86 miles an hour on the cutter. 1 out, nobody on. 0-1 is the count. Abel says, question, how does one become a member? They're saying that it takes them to your other page. How does one become a member? Let's see. I can send a link to that. But on my main page, there's a join button. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. 0-2 is the count to Chaz McCormick. Let me open up my other browser. Give me 1 second. Next pitch to Chaz on the way. Taken for ball 1, 1-2. This is hit up the middle. That's going to be played by the center fielder, out number 2. Yeah, Brendan, that's also a way to do it. If you hit the $sign next to the chat, you can also see where it's got memberships. Unlock members only perks. You can also do that if they're in the chat. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off. Cesar Salazar at the plate with 2 outs, nobody on. 0-1 is the count. Daryl says they said our weather in the southeast going to be colder than normal. More chance of snow this year in Houston. All we need is snow. If it's not too much, I guess it's okay. 0-2. Fouls it off. But I know that drivers down in that area, right? They don't know what to do with snow. Paul says there are tickets from Houston to Tokyo that are not horrendous. Well, for me, any ticket is horrendous. Even flying from Hiroshima to Tokyo is horrendous for me right now. So even if it were like $500, I wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, my I get partial disability every other month, and it's only about $700 maybe. So it's $350 a month I get. That's my main living allowance. Checks his swing. Did he go? They say he did not. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Salazar. Just to give you an idea of how much it means whenever you donate to the channel. The amount of money that I get in a month consistently is about $350 from my disability. That's outside 3 and 2. The reason I don't get full disability is because I have some degree of mobility right now. You know, I can go outside. I can use my car, you know. This is grounded up the middle, and it's going to get through. Cesar Salazar is now 2 for 2. How about that? We got another runner on first base with 2 outs. That's going to bring up Jeremy Pena again with a runner on base. How about a line drive homer into the Crawford boxes? I know he can do it. Pena has got that go down and get that ball, go down and get that sinker, and line drive it into the Crawford boxes power. Here's the pitch, the flash. Grounds it to third base side. He doesn't have a play. He has to do a double pump. He doesn't get it out of his glove, and on the double pump, he doesn't have a play. He throws it to first, but it's way too late because that is the power of the flash, baby. Yeah, take a look at this. Well, that's just Pena being the Flash. That's why we call him the Flash. That's why I call him the Flash. I started calling him that a long time ago. Carlos Correa comes to the plate with runners on first and second. Here's the first pitch. He chops this one at the plate. It's going to be fair. Ah, the catcher is able to grab it and throw to first base for the final out. So close and yet so far. 8 hits for the Astros and only 3 runs on the board. That's disappointing. So close. Horseshoes and hand grenades, ladies and gentlemen. Horseshoes and hand grenades. Let me try to get caught up on the freaking chat here. There's so much going on. I'm really trying to catch it all. Let's see here. Yeah, what I was saying is that I would have to do a fundraiser or find a way to make some more money or whatever in order to take a trip anywhere. I was invited, for those of you who don't know, I was invited to take part in a Kominka conference. A Kominka is a Japanese farmhouse. I live in a Japanese farmhouse, as you see, and my farmhouse is about 200 years old. And I also do YouTube videos about my house here and living in Japan. That's on another channel. And I just got a message a few days ago. They have a conference every year where they invite people to this Japanese farmhouse get together, and over a period of a few days they have guest speakers and workshops, and they go visit properties and they talk about how to buy, how to find an old house, how to repair it, etc., etc., etc. It's just a big event that they have every year. A nice farmhouse, Japanese farmhouse conference. I've been wanting to go. I haven't been able to go yet. They've been having them now for several years. But I got invited as a guest, not as a keynote speaker, but as a panel speaker. And I will basically speak for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'll take questions maybe for about 30 minutes. And I get to participate in the event for free. They give me free lodging. They give me free food. And they pay for some of my transportation. So that's in November after the World Series. So it's perfectly timed. And in the fall. I'm really looking forward to going to that. That's going to be cool. This is rocketed to Correa on the very first pitch. Look at that scoop by Walker at first base. Holy cow. Braxton Fulford rips it on the very first pitch. Correa makes a good throw, a little stumble there. Hard throw, rather. And Walker scoops it up. Look at that. Beautiful. One away. Yanquiel Fernandez at the plate. That's a strike. 79-mile-per-hour changeup on the outside lower edge. Alexander in the top of the fifth, working his magic. Here's the 0-1. That's hit hard into right field. All the way back, it's going to be gone. Game's tied. In the same exact spot as the last one. Alexander was working it. Now he's feeling it, but he's not feeling it in the right way. Yanquiel Fernandez is 2 for 2. He's the DH today. Change up on the outside edge. That one didn't fall and drop at all. Stayed up and in on the outside edge. Look at him. Yeah, he's disappointed. There goes the lead. We're tied up in the top of the fifth. 4 hits. The Rockies much more efficient than the Astros with their run scoring. Line drive into left field. That's a single. We might be seeing the end of Jason Alexander's night. 69 pitches. Ken says, I retired from the Army in 91. Anytime I wanted to go somewhere, I could get on a flight manifest from an Air Force base and go anywhere I wanted for free. It was just at the mercy of the flights. Yeah, I've heard about that. That's pretty amazing stuff. That's one of the reasons why I wish I had joined the military, but at the time when my brother joined and a friend of mine joined, it wasn't the right time for me. Low and outside. I think if I'd lived in a different state and I would have had a different family, I probably would have joined. The experience would have been really good for me, I think. I was a kid, though. This is hit high in the air. Fouled back. Salazar looks at it, but it goes out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, 1 runner on. Mickey Moniak at the plate. David says, I feel it's a bigger deal that we have Abreu in nearly every game there to step in and cover us with losing Hader than Alexander filling in a few games a month. I see what you're saying, but you also have to look at it this way. How many innings does Alexander pitch versus Abreu? So there's 2 sides to that coin, David. 2 sides to that coin. It can be argued both ways. Here comes a pitch. Low and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Moniak calls a timeout for a moment. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul ball. 2-2 is the count. Eric says, if you do the live stream for a series, make sure you do it against our rival. You know, the Yankees. That's right, our rival, our quote rival, the Yankees. Strike 3 and a steal, so we don't get the double play, but Moniak goes down on another strikeout by Alexander. David, I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I wouldn't want to choose, but if I had to choose somebody to lose, I would agree with you. But both would hurt a lot. Here's a pitch. This is grounded right field. Cam Smith comes in. He's going to throw it home. Here's the throw. They get him at the plate. Yes, they do. It was hit into right field. Cam Smith came charging in, scooped it up, and fired it home. They sent him home to try to take the lead, and they call him out at home. Rockies are not challenging the play. He is out. A one-hopper throw from Cam Smith. Woo, that was close. That throw and tag couldn't have been more perfect. Look at that. Boom, baby. How perfect was that? That was a thing of beauty right there. I have to applaud that. That just saved the lead. This game is tied 3-3. Alexander has given up 1 run in the 3rd, 1 run in the 4th, and one run in the 5th. The Astros haven't scored anything the past couple of innings, but now is their time. The bottom of the 5th is upon us. Jose Altuve with a home run today. Christian Walker with a home run today. They are due up, followed by Ramon Urias, who also has a nice hit today. Rocket Man. Yep. Well, you know, if you say, let's assume that Jason Alexander is in prime form and pitching really, really well, and Brian Abreu is continuing to pitch really, really well, and we had to lose one in the playoffs, who would you choose? If we don't have Hader, then you absolutely have to keep Abreu. You have to. If you have Hader, maybe you could find a way. But it really depends on how the other relievers are doing. If our relievers are doing well and we have Hader, then we could do without Abreu. But right now, I don't trust our bridge guys, so I would want to keep Abreu. If we don't have Hader, then it's a no-brainer, because there's no way. If we lose Abreu and we don't have Hader, we're screwed. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter how good Fromber, Hunter Brown, and Altuve rips it down the line, but line drive caught by the third baseman. Man, he tore that one, that first pitch, right at the third baseman, and he was able to grab it. Man, he robbed Altuve of a nice hit there. Look at this. Robbed. Here comes the pitch to Walker. Low and inside, ball 1. Brendan says, since when has Dyking Park come like Rockies Park? With all these homers. Well, the Crawford boxes are like Rockies Park, right? That's a grounder to third, and Walker goes down on the ground ball. 2 up and 2 down. 8 hits for the Astros, 6 for the Rockies. Ramon Urias comes to the plate with 2 outs. Yeah, you're right, Daryl. We're going to have to step it up for sure. We got to get some runs on the board. I don't call Cam Rocket Man. I call him Cam, Crank It Up Cam. Maybe Camshaft. I don't have a resonance with Rocket Man for Cam. I think of Camshaft, you know. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Urias. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Swiffer low and inside. Freeland up to 71 pitches. Yeah, that was a great throw. Here comes the 0-2. In the dirt. Did he hold up? Yes, he did. That's ball 1, 1 and 2. Yeah. Maybe they'll pull Jordan in for one of our struggling batters. Pull out one of our right-handers. Pull out... Well, McCormick does have a hit. Salazar's doing okay. Here's the pitch. He bounces that one foul down the third baseline. Correa hasn't done anything today. He doesn't have a hit. Cam Smith doesn't have a hit. Maybe you can pull out Cam Smith and put Jordan in that slot. And then you can shuffle around the outfield. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The knuckle curve in the bottom of the zone gets Urias. That's another strikeout for Freeland. And we go into the top of the 6th. I'm going to get up and stretch my legs right quick. Be right back, guys. The score is tied 3-3. Eight hits for the Astros, 6 hits for the Rockies. 1 error for those crumbly Rockies. No errors for the Astros. Be right back. Go Stros. You knows. First batter is Jordan Beck. I'm sitting here stretching my legs a little bit. Very first pitch from Jason Alexander, and it's a single. 1 pitch, 1 runner on. Just like that. Next batter is Brenton Doyle. Here comes the first toss. He shows bunt, pulls back, ball 1. Runner on first. 1 ball, no strikes. Walk-off homer in the bottom of the 8th. How can you do a walk-off in the bottom of the 8th? I guess you mean... Oh, 9th. Okay, I see it. Typo. We can get wins late. 2 balls and no strikes to Mr. Brenton Doyle. Enyel De Los Santos is warming up in the bullpen. Alexander throws it over to first base. Runner gets back, no problem. Brendan, I think we should score against this guy and against the bullpen. That's a Tappert Alexander. He goes to second base. Pena has to lunge for that ball. And is not able to go to the double play because of a terrible throw by Alexander. Pena was barely able to keep his foot on the base. Get 1 out of that. What a terrible throw, man. He had plenty of time. Look at this. Nice and easy throw. Look at that. No way for Pena to throw it to first base. Alexander screws up the double play there. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? This is hit hard to right field, but high. Cam Smith is underneath it. Out number 2. That would have been out number 3, but whatever. Runner on first. 7 hits for the Rockies now. Ezekiel Tovar has gone down with that fly ball. And Warman Bernabel comes back up to the plate. What will happen in the next chapter of Warming Bernabelle? A line out and a fly out today. Here comes the first pitch. Swing and a miss. 78 mile per hour Swiffer. Yeah, Altuve started it off. He started off the scoring party. Maybe he'll end it. I sure hope so. I got my Altuve jersey on for a reason today. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. The runner's going. Here's the throw. Man, look at that. It's off his helmet. Doyle will get up and go to third. One ball, one strike. Looks like that hit off his helmet. No, it went off the glove of Urias, but it was a bad throw. Short hop from Salazar. That didn't even get out of the grass. Okay, one ball, one strike. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Maybe his parents like Westerns. Well, you know, Bernabelle, I think, is his family name, right? Which just doesn't match the guy. Look at him. He doesn't look like a Bernabelle. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. In the dirt. Change up. He didn't go for it. Too low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 85 pitches now for Alexander. But that would be funny. You know, our family name is Bernabelle. If we named him Warming, that would be perfect. Way outside. Another one in the dirt. Salazar is able to catch it somehow. I just realized that Salazar has on Japanese catching gear. Mizuno. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 4. And that is the first walk given by Jason Alexander. That's going to be it. He's not going to be able to get through 6 innings. Espada's going to go ahead and take him out and bring in Enyel de los Santos. Mr. Alexander, thank you for your service, sir, but your day is done. Get him a green dress, Scarlet. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a grand slam. I think my water is ready. I'll be right back.
Get up from the chair to make some coffee. So this is the coffee break song. There isn't much time between each inning. I gotta hurry 'cause I don't have long. It's the coffee break song. This is my coffee break song. It's a song meant for coffee breaks. It matters how long it takes. 'Cause if I miss a pitch, my viewers just might ditch. Get water from the well, put it on to boil, and now prepare a new filter. Scoop in some fresh grounds as I take a quick whiff. Careful pour over is not off kilter. It's a coffee break song.
Alright, that's all we got on the coffee break song right now. Enyel de los Santos up on the mound for the STROS. Let's see what he can do, Yos.
1-0 count.
Got the runners on the corners.
Third with 2.
Whoops. Here we go. Forgot to turn the audio down on the desktop audio. I guess there was a pitch clock violation. Even the Astros announcers missed it. It says 2-0. The very first pitch. He didn't get it in on time. Line drive right to Correa, out number 3. Correa catches that one and saves another run. De Los Santos gives up the line drive straight to Correa. Out number 3. So that was a strange start there. The very first pitch from De Los Santos was ball 2. The Astros commentator said, "How is it ball 2 already?" And they said, I guess there was a pitch clock violation. They didn't even see it. So on a 2-0 pitch, it was a line drive hit straight to Correa. We get out of the inning, luckily. 7 hits to 8 hits. Astros 1 more hit than the Rockies. But the Astros and the Rockies both with 1 error. I guess that throw by Salazar was the error for the Astros. This game is tied 3-3 going into the bottom of the 6th. Brendan says, "Don't leave for the most important play." Who left? Who left? I don't think that I don't think going into the other room to get my hot water kettle is during a relief pitcher warm up is an important play. It's not even a play. It's just a relief pitcher warming up. There's a commercial break. What am I supposed to do during the commercial break? You expect me to sit here? You guys want to see the commercials? You want me to show you the commercials or something? That's not an important play. You didn't want me to miss the at-bat, right? With De Los Santos facing the next batter with runners on the corners. I wasn't going to miss that. But I had more than enough time to get up and go grab some hot water while I was waiting on the warm-up pitches. Cam Smith is at the plate. Kyle Freeland back on the mound. That first pitch is low and inside for ball 1. Don't worry about it, Brendan. This is fouled off. During a pitching change, they let the guy have some warm-up pitches and they take a commercial break. So I'm able to have plenty of time to go get my hot water kettle. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cam Smith. Nobody on. 83 mile per hour knuckle curve right in there. Taken for strike 2. Come on, Cam. Crank it up. Crank it up, Cam. Crank it up like you did yesterday, boy. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. He fouls that one off. Good swing at that pitch. Swiffer inside. I'm almost out of coffee. I've got a brand new bag in there just waiting to be unsealed. I'm not going to put too much in there, though. I don't want it to be too strong. I want to be able to get some more sleep after this. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off. Count remains 1-2. All right, there's that. 80 pitches coming up right now from Freeland. Smith takes it inside, ball 2. That was a tight take, but a good one. 2-2. Crank it up, Cam. Crank it up, baby. He hits this one out to center field, but it's going to be well short of any kind of danger. 1 down. Mauricio Dubon comes to the plate. Dubon was batting He's had many at-bats against this pitcher. He's batting .375 against this guy. He's got one single today and 1 run scored. Let's see what he can produce here. 92 in the top of the zone. Strike 1 on that fastball. 0-1 pitch on the way. On that outside edge, the Swiffer. Strike 2. 0-2 is the count. Come on, Doobie. We need you on base, buddy. Or in the Crawford boxes. Take your pick. It's up to you. In the dirt. 1-2. The knuckle curve. Didn't work that time, did it, boy? Here comes the next pitch, the 1-2, outside. Oh my gosh, they called that a strike. Yeah, Dubon's like, that was a little outside. A knuckle curve completely outside the zone called strike 3. That was not even close enough to be swinging at. What kind of a nonsensical call was that? McCormick, not sure what he was trying to do there, but it results in a strike. He takes time out, get a few swings. One single today for Chaz after arguing that he didn't get hit by pitch. 2 outs, nobody on. Low and inside. How nice would it be to see a Chaz homer? He's only got 1 this whole year. Just 1. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Knuckle curve gets him. 1-2. It was a bad call, Darryl. You're right. Yeah, they are struggling with these guys. They're not looking very good. I mean, yesterday was not a very strong win. You know, 4-0. That's very average. That's league average runs. Here's the pitch. This is fouled off. The count remains 1-2. Thought he was cool. Not. Yeah, old dog, you're right. Correa and Smith need to do something. Swing and a miss. Chaz goes down. That's another strikeout. Man, Freeland looking good so far. He started off looking like trash. Astros were hitting him like crazy. Scored 3 runs in the first 2 innings, and after that haven't done anything. I mean, they've managed to get some guys on base. Like 2 outs, get a guy on base. 2 outs, get a guy on base. In this inning, nothing. Couple of innings of nothing. Top of the 7th coming up. Enyel De Los Santos most likely still in the game, but we will see. Yanquiel Fernandez is due up. He's 2 for 2 today. Tyler Freeman on deck, and Mickey Moniak. Basically the DH. It's funny that they have the DH in the 9th slot. That's interesting. And then the top of the batting order. Yeah, Freeland getting a little bit of help from the ump. That's true. Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're losing, you know. That's true. We're not losing. So, it's all good. Oh, wow. Steven Okert is in the game. They took De Los Santos out. Okert is in. Lefty on the mound. Oh, yeah, by the way, we're talking about flights to Houston from Tokyo. That's another thing I wanted to tell you is that the yen is very weak. It's much more expensive. 81. Now, that one right there could have been called a strike. It would have been called a strike against the Astros, I feel. But a ball one to Kyle Farmer, who's actually pinch hitting for Fernandez. So he's pinch hitting for the designated hitter. I guess it's because the designated hitter doesn't do well against lefties. 2-0. But yeah, the yen has fallen and become so weak that it costs a lot more to buy anything like that. Strike one right in there, 90-mile-per-hour fastball. All right. My fresh cup of coffee is ready to go. Oh, nice. Here comes the one strike, 2 balls. Now it's 3 balls. 3-1. 31. Counts 31. Hey, Abel, look at that. Abel coming in with this. I still believe that the Astros will come out on top. Thank you so much for that awesome super chat. Here's a pitch. Grounded down the third baseline. Thanks, Abel. I believe, and I believe in you too. On the full count pitch, it's out of the zone. That's a walk. Leadoff batter is walked. That's only the second walk today. The other one issued by Jason Alexander. Thank you for that awesome super chat. It makes it so much nicer. It's 10 till 5 in the morning. It makes it so much nicer to see stuff like that pop up. It keeps me going. It's better than coffee. It's better than coffee. I like it better than coffee. I do like my coffee, but I like the super chats even more because it buys the coffee. Whoo, man. 1 ball, no strikes to Tyler Freeman. This next pitch is for you, Abel. Oh, maybe not that one. That's ball 2. That one was not for you. Okert wasn't on the game plan. Maybe it's the next pitch. Maybe I got it wrong. The next out is for you. How about that? The next out is for you, baby. Yes, many blessings coming your way. You too, Daryl. Here's the pitch. Little high, 3-0. Okert not looking so sharp. Maybe De Los Santos should have been left in there. Absolutely way too many balls right now. We've already got Ort going. If Okert isn't on, will Ort be? Okert to Ort. Ortkert. Here comes the pitch. Too far inside, a 4-pitch walk. That's back-to-back walks by Stephen Okert. The Astros are trying to dig a hole here. Pitching coach Josh Miller's going to come out and say, hey, listen, this wasn't part of the plan. I didn't bring you in to walk, guys. You know what I'm saying, yo? You're supposed to pitch. You're a pitcher. It's looking like Gomi, Ross. Looking like Gomi. Gomi in Japanese is garbage. Or trash. Looking like it. Triple play? Triple play? I've been asking for it all year long. I'm going to keep asking for it. Every time I see 2 guys on base with no outs, I'm going to be calling for the triple play. One of these days, I'm going to call a game for the Astros, and they're going to get a freaking triple play. I'm telling you. Now, right now it would be perfect, right? It's 3-3. 3 runs for the Astros, 3 runs for the Rockies. Triple play when it's 3-3. Come on. And this guy's over 3. Come on. A bunt foul. This is a perfect opportunity for a triple play with all these 3s. This guy is over 3. The score is 3-3. Perfect opportunity for a triple play. Come on. Let's get it. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Mickey Moniak. He tries to bunt again, but he pulls back. They say he did pull back in time, so it's 1-1. Forget that double play, Brendan. I want the triple. Give me the triple play. Everybody's saying just get the double play. No! Triple play. Triple play. Triple play. Triple play. Give me the triple play. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Nope. He comes off the mound and he fakes a throw to second base. Eric says, Yunko said, sounds like he should be on a quest with Shrek. Yeah, that name doesn't fit with the Southern historical drama, does it? He shows bunt again, pulls back, but that's in there for a strike. Why would you not bunt? Why would you not try to bunt when it's in the zone? I have no idea what he was thinking right there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Moniak. Here comes the 1-2 from Fried Okert. Serve it up. He swings and he fouls it off. Okert, I'm going to assume that you walked a couple of guys because you're cooking up a big, wholesome batch of triple play Fried Okert. It's my dream come true right now. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. This is grounded down the first base side. Foul. Yeah, it is. The game couldn't get any tighter. 3-3. Ross says, how about an out? As long as it doesn't end in a run. But I want that triple, baby. Here's the play. Or the pitch, rather. Half swing. Foul ball. 1-2. Espada over there with the glasses on, looking all old and stuff. David says, I'll buy a lottery ticket definitely if the Astros make a triple play. This is grounded at the plate to third base. Look at that play by Salazar. We don't get the triple, but we get the start of the triple. That was a tapper right in front of the plate. Salazar jumped out there, grabbed it, threw it to third, and got the lead runner. Kudos to you, my friend. Look at this. Little tapper. It was basically like a bunt, right? Look at that. Perfect throw. Sidearm, a quick sidearm. Man, he destroyed that guy at third base. Man. That's it for Okert. Okert gets an out. It sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. Okert gets an out. Okert gets an O. And Ort is coming in. Oh, we can call it Okert gets an Ort. Dr. Seuss, Okert gets an Ort. Okert, here's an Ort. Oh my gosh, it's almost 5 a.m. This is why I'm starting to feel this way. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Okert, here's an Ort. That's just too funny. I need to change my picture on the screen. I'm sorry, guys and gals. Caleb Ort, where you at, buddy? There you are. Boom. It's changed. Okay, it's done. Still on commercial break as Ort warms up. 1 down, runners on first and second. AB wants to know if I do all the Astros games. Are you in Japan? First question, yes. Unless something is wrong with me physically, I do all the Astros games. Number 2, are you in Japan? I think so. I am in Hiroshima, Japan. East Hiroshima, Japan. Just like that. They were showing commercials and they missed the first pitch by Ort. But that's a ball, 1-0. Ort is on the mound. He's got a beefy arm. He's a beefy guy. Let's see if he can shut it down. Runners on first and second. Nice. 90 miles an hour on the cutter in the bottom of the zone. 1-1. Johnny says, let's go Rockies. Johnny, I think you've been in here several times before, and I don't think you're authentic. You're not an authentic fan, because if you say let's go Rockies, you're just trolling, because you never ever go for the same team. You just go for different teams. That's in the dirt, 2-1. Yeah, Salazar's hustle is pretty good, but Salazar is a smaller guy. He's really quick. Really, really quick. Caesar says, I love Dr. Seuss. Fouled off, 2-2. The four-seam fastball, 95 up and in. Ken says, Okert scares me, Ort terrifies me. Well, let's just hope that he's got the good fastball tonight, because he does have a strong arm. He can throw up in the upper 90s, so as long as he has good control and he puts it in the right spot, we'll be okay. Well, we'll see. Here's the 2-2. 96 miles an hour fastball on the outside edge, strike 3. Out number 2. See, that's exactly what I was just talking about. Take a look at the replay here. Right on the outside edge. 96 miles an hour. Look at this. Boom. Perfect, baby. Come on, gotta shut it down. Shut her down. Well, that's all there's for today. Let's shut her down. Jordan Beck at the plate. Umpire says, pay attention to the batter. Looks like Caleb Ort was wanting to get busy on his pitch a little faster than the umpire was comfortable with. First pitch to Beck on the way. Swiffer in the dirt, ball 1. Daryl's Craven KFC. KFC, the #1 fast food chain in China. Here's the pitch. Woo! Why didn't you give us that one? 84 on the outside edge. Look how close that was. Look at that. Now, I know it was out of the zone, but they've been calling that against the Astros. Call it against the Rockies. Come on, be fair. 2-0. Here comes the pitch. Right in there. And guess what? Guess what? Jordan Beck has 2 turntables and a microphone right now. 2 balls and 1 strike to Beck. That joke does not get old. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 97 miles an hour. Couldn't get his bat around. The count is even, 2-2. Yeah, you're right, Eric. Lack of sleep and a little bit of coffee consumption. I've also had an electrolyte drink. 97, foul tip in the glove of Salazar, and that's it. That's a strike. Strike 3, baby. What? Now they're saying catcher's interference. They're saying that the bat hit Salazar's glove, and they're sending him to first base, and that will load the bases. Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see if that's accurate. Yeah, it is. Darn it. Salazar, what are you doing, bro? How did he even catch that? Beck hit his glove with a swing, and he still caught the ball. Ort had to strike out. He completely missed on that swing, but of course he hit the glove of Salazar, so that's catcher's interference. We have bases loaded with 2 outs. Here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss. Ort comes back with a 96 high fastball. Strike 1. Brenton Doyle back on the mound. I mean, back at the plate. Back on the mound. What am I thinking? Here comes the 0-1, baby. Swing and a miss. 96 up and in. Another fastball. 0-2. He calls timeout. Or just bringing the heat. That's right, Daryl. That's exactly what I said. You're right. That's exactly what I just said. Bringing the heat. 0-2. Here comes the pitch. Come on. Ogert, here's an Ort. No. 97 outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ross, is that Jesus or Jesus? We should win the game easily. The 1-2 strikeout, 98. He cranks it up to 98 miles an hour and he yells in his glove. Yeah, that's right. Ort got robbed on that catcher's interference call, but he comes right back and he gets the strikeout with a 98 mile per hour steamer. So what Caleb Ort did we get tonight? We got the beefy arm Ort. Absolutely right on. Good job. The Rockies come away with goose eggs. You know that they've got to be feeling good. The Rockies fans right now, they got to be a little bit livid. Oh my gosh. We could have taken the lead right there. We could have gotten several runs. We came up with nothing. Oh noes. That's right. Go home. Yes, this is the Caleb we're looking for. These are the Calebs that you're looking for. Time for runs. That's right, Fox at bat. 100%, baby. Caleb Ort, reverse card. Umpire says, catcher's interference, go to first. That's not a strikeout. Caleb Ort says, oh yeah? 98 miles an hour, reverse card. Boom. Yeah, thanks, old dog. How many likes on the channel right now? Did we get to 100? My goal is to get over 100 today. We got about 80 likes. And 143, that's unacceptable. Come on, guys and gals. Don't do me so wrong like that. 145 people viewing the live stream or listening in right now and only 80 likes. That's absolutely terrible. That's barely 50%. Come on now. You can do better than that. Let's crank it up. We just need 20 more likes. Salazar is at the plate. Takes that first pitch 95 miles an hour right in there. The Rockies have a new pitcher in the game. Juan Mejia. Juan Mejia. Mejia. 0-2 is the count to Salazar. Here's the next pitch from Mejia. Come on, Salazar. 98 high and outside, 1-2. Salazar is 2 for 2 today. He has a single with a double on an error, and then another single. Here's the pitch. Ooh, 99 inside, taken for ball 2. The count's even. Thank you for liking the live stream in advance. If you like the Astros, thank you for also subscribing. If you love the Astros and you love me, thank you for becoming a member. 83 miles an hour outside, full count. He comes back from the 0-2 to the 3-2. Haven Bank says, I'm doing my part. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service. Here's a pitch. Hi, there you go. Look at that. Salazar, man. He starts off 0-2, comes back 4 straight pitch walk. Look at that. Nice. Mejia walks Salazar, loses him after getting ahead in the count. Mejia's ERA is 5.26. Opponent's batting average is 275. Very hittable. Jeremy Pena, the top of the batting order. 83, low and outside, but in there for a strike. The slider. Ort yells, "Get that dog off my lawn." One single for Pena today. 98, up and outside, swing and a miss, 0-2. So Pena gets down 0-2 just like Salazar does. He calls timeout, and he is staring down the pitcher. He looked really intense there for a minute, adjusting his gloves and staring down Mejia. Or Mejia? Mejia. High, 99. Ball 1. 1-2. I'm going to show you some pain, yeah. I'm going to show you some pain, yeah. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. The 10th pitch of the inning from Mejia. Oh, 84 miles an hour on that outside edge. The slider. Pena can't get to it. Strike 3. Correa comes to the plate. One of the Astros bats that haven't done anything or hasn't done anything in the lineup today. He's been putting the bat on the ball. It just hasn't turned into anything. Let's make it 1-for-4. 98 right in the zone. Swing and a miss. He was underneath it. Got to be a little faster than that, Correa. Come on, man. We need a big hit from you right now. Correa can do it. He's a pro hitter. This is his time to shine. The difficult positions. 99. He fouls it off. 0-2. Another 0-2. That's 3 hitters in a row. 0-2. Yeah, that first swing wasn't even close, Ross. You're right. Second pitch was better. Still a little behind it, but he's catching up. Maybe he's used to it now. Third hit, homer. Or double. Here's the pitch. Whoa, way high. He lets that one go. 99 miles an hour. 1-2 is the count. Jose Altuve on deck. I hope Altuve's paying attention to how fast this guy's pitching, so he jumps on it. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Has hit hard to left field. Not deep enough. Line drive put away for out number 2. Well, loaded bases would be nice. I just want to see a run cross the plate. Holy cow. Now, how about that name? Eric Anthony. Have you guys heard that name in a while? It has been a moment. It has been a bit since I've heard the name Eric Anthony. He was great. Here comes the first pitch, Altuve. Man, that was a wicked slider. Altuve pulled back, but it came back in on the inside for strike 1. Come on, Altuve. Superman, I'm representing you today. Let's have you represent me. Here comes the 0-1. Grounded to third. Unfortunately, that's going to be an easy throw to second base for the third out. So Altuve puts the wood on it, but right to the third baseman. 7 innings are done, ladies and gentlemen. 8 hits for the Astros, 7 for the Rockies. The game is tied 3-3. 2 errors for the Astros in this game. 1 error for the Rockies. Ezekiel Tovar, Warming Bernabeu, and Braxton Fulford are due up unless there are any pinch hitting changes. We'll see. Max says, I live a few hours from the park. Only went to 1 game this season so far. You know, I live like an hour and a half from the Hiroshima Carp baseball stadium. But in the past few years of being in Hiroshima, I've only been to 1 game. I'd love to go to more. It's just... it's amazing how much my life has changed since 3 years ago. In May of 2022, that's when my health went downhill. And I went to the doctor, and they said, "Oh, it's because you have a huge tumor on your kidney." I was like, "So I'm not just out of shape?" Well, normally blood doesn't come out of you whenever you're in shape. But from then till now, it's been many things have disappeared from my life. Isn't it kind of crazy? You would think that whenever you get sick with something so serious, that your family gets closer to you, your friends get closer to you. If you have a girlfriend or a wife, maybe they get closer to you, and everybody becomes more supportive. But would you believe that over the past 3 years, my family hasn't been speaking to me in over 2 years? I've had all of my closest friends walk away from our relationship, and my girlfriend left me. Actually, I went into the hospital 2 years ago. My girlfriend at the time, we'd been together for maybe about 7 or 8 months. Not a really long time, but she said she really, really loved me. And of course, we know how that goes. Anyway, I got a blood clot in my leg, and I had to go in the hospital for a couple of months, and she didn't like that at all. So, shortly after that, she broke up with me. Well, I say she broke up with me. We had a talk, and we just kind of we kind of ended it right there. Brian King, Magnum PI on the mound. That's a strike. 1-1. This guy looks like Ramon Urias, like a little version. Here's the 1-1 pitch from King. Swing and a miss. Brian King in the 8th inning for the Astros. 1-2 count on that Swiffer versus Tovar. Yeah, that's right, Jay. You play my life backwards, I get everything back, right? Isn't that the joke about a country song? Swing and a miss. Strikeout for Brian King. 1 away. What do you get? That's the old joke. What do you get if you play a country song backwards? You get back your dog. You get back your truck. You get back your woman. You get back your house. You get back your money. You get back your job. That's funny. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the next pitch. Let's hit up the middle. Chaz is over to grab it for out number 2. All right. Bernabelle goes down. Bernabelle, what are you doing hitting that ball out there in the cornfield like that? I already told you once you can't be doing that. Boys don't like that nowadays. Astros fans love it, though. Braxton Fulford. Mr. Braxton Fulford, I heard you have a thing for Bernabelle, and I don't much take to that. First pitch to Fulford from King is a little out of the zone for ball 1. 2 outs outside on the 4-seam fastball, 2-0. Kimbrel might be in the 9th, Brendan. It's very possible. We might see him. 92 outside, 3 straight balls from King. He was really locked down on the first 2 batters, but on Fulford, maybe it's because he's a righty. We'll see. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. That's in there. 92 miles an hour, strike 1. 3-1. Gerald Young. Wow. That's right, Darryl. Hanging in there by a thin thread. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Strike 2. Not a really good frame by Salazar, but the umpire saw it. That's a full count. Fulford calls a timeout. Max wants to know if I saw the base stars when Bauer was pitching. Nope, because I only saw one game. I've only seen one game of the Carp, and they were playing before that. That was before he was playing with them, I think. Ball 4. Fulford is on the first. Kyle Farmer is being pulled. They're going to bring Hunter Goodman in as a pinch hitter. Eric says we got Mike Hampton for Eric Anthony. I think we won that one. Well, I have to say that I have fonder memories of Eric Anthony. That's right, Daryl. In the end, you know who your real friends are. You want to hear something really funny? I mean, it sounds unbelievable. What in the world are they're going to a commercial? They went to commercial and then they just came back. I thought, why would they go to a commercial for a pinch hitter? And they just came back. The commercial started for like 3 seconds and it came back to the game. That's crazy. Here's the pitch. He hits this one really hard, but it's way up in the air. Dubon is underneath it and grabs it on the jog. Very first pitch. Goodman comes out swinging, but he's a good man to the STROS as he flies out. Magnum PI gets the job done in the 8th inning. 2 good outings now for Brian King back to back. I'm loving it. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Christian Walker due up, followed by Urias and Cam Smith. Hopefully we'll see Jordan batting for... let's see. Urias does have a hit today. Cam Smith is cold today. Who would you rather see Jordan hitting for? If Jordan were to come in and pinch hit, I think that he would have to come in for Cam. Well, no. If he came in for Urias, then Dubon could be moved to second base. That's true. But if he comes in for Cam Smith, then we'd have to shuffle the outfield a little more. There's a bigger chance for Jordan to come in for Urias, I think. It's my guess. Okay, so if Jordan comes in as a pinch hitter in this inning, it's going to be for Urias. That's what I'm going to say. Well, Chaz isn't due up. I would agree with you, Jay, but Chaz is not due up for a while. Let's see here. Yeah, Walker, Urias, Smith, Dubon, and then Chaz. So Chaz is 5 batters away. Cam Smith going to hit a bomb. You know, oh, what I was going to say, yeah, my close friend that I had for like 15 freaking years, whenever we were talking, he said, I just want our friendship to be simple and easy. What does that mean? And it's, you know why he said that? I told him, I said, every time you and I talk, you can't go 3 seconds without interrupting me, making a joke, and giving me your middle school jokes. You know, be a little more serious. Walker goes to left field. It might be gone in the first pitch. It's up. It's up. It's gone. Walker with a homer. Sky Walker. Second home run today for Christian Walker. He is freaking hot, is he not? 3 home runs in this series against the Dirty Birds and 2 in this game. Christian Walker, you need to shave more often, my friend. It makes you more aerodynamic or something. And guess who's on deck? Walker driving in the 4th run, and that breaks the tie. 4-3, the Astros are up. And guess who comes to the plate? I was right. I was right. Jordan Alvarez is batting for Ramon Urias. Was I right or was I right? Low and outside, ball 1. Mama says there'd be days like this. Got a cold beer waiting for you at the game. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Haven. One of these days, it's not about deciding to come. It's just a matter of when. Not if, but when. When I get the opportunity, I will definitely be there. Next pitch, does he go? Yes, he does, and that's a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jordan. And you're right, Max. Good riddance. A lot of fish in the sea, and a lot of amazing ones, too. Low. 3 balls and 1 strike. They're not pitching to him. You see, this is what happens. He completely changes the game plan. Doesn't matter lefty or righty. They can't pitch to Jordan. That's inside, ball 4. A 5-pitch walk. And Melton is going to come out to bat for Cam Smith. Christian Walker got all of it. Left center field off the sign. Way up there. Almost on the railroad tracks. That was a blast. Pitching coach is going to come out and have a little chit-chat because the Astros decided to bring in another... Oh, I'm sorry. Melton comes out to run for Jordan. They already took Jordan out. Can you believe it? I'm not sure I would have taken him out so early, but Melton is fast. I'll give him that. We might see him make a steal attempt here, and that's probably one of the things they're talking about. Cam Smith at the plate. Melton on first base. No outs. Astros up 4-3. 9 hits for the STROS. First pitch to Cam Smith on the way. Below the zone, ball 1. Phillip is calling for Cam Smith to hit a bomb. Christian Walker's already got one. Let's see if Cam can crank one up. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. 95 on the inside edge, called a strike. 1-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. Melton was running and Cam Smith swung and fouled it off. Melton's going to have to go back. 1-2 is the count. Ed says put Altuve at second, keep Jordan at DH. Oh, you're talking... okay, I see. You're talking about moving him around. I see. Here's the pitch. Not a bad swing, but fouled off on the first base side. Got around just a little too late on the 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Bartender said no more Jack, so I said, okay, give me a shot of Johnny Walker. That's right. Good job. Here comes the 1-2. Ground ball up the middle, and that's going to be an easy double play. Cam Smith grounds into the double, and that eliminates our base runner. Mauricio Dubon will come to the plate with nobody on and 2 outs. I like the rhetorical question there, Abel. Is it me or is Alvarez intimidating to opposing teams? Oh, I'm sure it's just you. I mean, Jordan's just a big old teddy bear. He's just a big old teddy bear. 1-0 to Dubon with that pitch way outside. The next pitch is grounded to third. An easy bouncer. He throws over to first for out number 3, but the swing by Christian Walker gives the Astros the lead again. Astros hanging on by a thread right now. 9 hits to the Rockies 7. 2 errors to the Rockies 1. 4-3 going into the top of the 9th. Who do you think is going to be in the top of the 9th? My guess is that they're going to put Kimbrel in. I'm gonna take a guess and say they put Kimbrel in. By the way, John Rooney, did you guys know that John Rooney is already out with like some discomfort? He comes in and pitches 1 game, and then he's already out with discomfort. That was his first major league game, and then he goes out with shoulder or elbow or something discomfort. That sucks. You're right, Daryl. The most important thing is to get the lead. Now, the most important thing is to hold it, right? Offense did just enough. Let's see if the defense can do just enough. Ken says if I'm going to drink hard stuff, make it Glenlivet. Glenlivet. I don't remember the last time I had any alcohol. When you don't have the kidneys to process it, you just don't drink. I love Japanese rice wine, sake. I love it. And here in this area, we have very soft water. That's one of the reasons why my coffee tastes so good. It comes out of the well. The water in this area. Wow, Brian Abreu's on the mound. I'm surprised. I was wrong. I didn't think they'd bring out Abreu. But they did. Strike one to Tyler Freeman. Here comes the next pitch from Abreu. Nice. Another slider. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Are you all as surprised as I am to see Abreu right now? Maybe he's feeling good. He's like, Coach, listen, put me in. I'm good to go. Here comes 0-2 pitch. Strike three, strike three. He fouls it off. 98. Floats just past the dugout. Count remains 0-2. If I could drink anything, if I could enjoy any drink, I think it would be a nice dark beer. Murphy's Irish Stout. Or Sapporo. Or Asahi Dark. Even a Guinness would be nice. 98 miles an hour right in there on that outside edge. 92 strikeouts on the season for Abreu, who continues to lead all relievers. Look at that. Eat that, sucker. I'm gonna get you, sucker. Have any of you seen that movie? Would you believe that I saw that in the Dollar Cinema when I was a kid? I'm gonna get you, sucker. That's the name of the movie. They also had a song. The theme song was I'm gonna get you, sucker. 98 miles an hour, fouled off, 0-1. Mickey Moniak at the plate. Here's the pitch. Oh, that's down for a hit right into center field. Moniak's going to be on with one out. That brings up Kyle Kairos, but he's a lefty. What do you expect? What do you expect? Well, David doesn't have... he's our player of the month. No, he's not. 67%. There's the poll, guys. 67% said Jason Alexander. I was right that it was Alexander, but I'm surprised it wasn't higher than 67%. Still higher than our poll. This is hit out into right field. Caught by Cam Smith, who throws it into second base. Here comes a pitch. A high and inside. I think Abreu's amazing. He's been freaking awesome. But for this month, I wouldn't say he's our player of the month. I'd say Alexander is our player of the month. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. Abreu trying to prove me wrong, but it doesn't matter. Jason Alexander has been better than Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez. Opponents are batting less than 200 against him this month. His ERA is like 1.3. How can you beat that as a starting pitcher? That one's fouled off. Breaks his bat. Comes down to this. Look at this. Shatters his bat, man. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner on first. Astros up by 1. Brian Abreu facing Jordan Beck, who has 1 turntable and 2 microphones. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's a pitch. 97 in the bottom. No, 87 on the slider in the bottom of the zone. He gets the strikeout. Gets him looking. Brian Abreu. Another strikeout. He increases his strikeout lead for all relievers in the MLB. He's number 1. But by the way, Abreu being a great pitcher this month doesn't have anything to do with him coming in to this game. What Brendan said is what I was talking about. That's the point that Brendan made is what I was talking about. Pitching 2 days in a row. Altuve puts the gun in his pocket like he's got a revolver. That was funny. Yeah, look at the so all the coaches were like rubbing their faces as Walker walks by. They're all commenting on his shaved face. They're like, yeah, the shaved face did it. That's funny. Yeah. But yeah, what I was saying is that how Abreu did this month has nothing to do with why they selected him to come in this game. That those are completely separate things. He pitched yesterday, so I thought surely they'd give him a break today and let Kimbrel pitch. That's why I was surprised. It didn't have anything to do with being player or being one of the best pitchers or players of the month. Let's see here. Salazar been doing a great job with especially Fromber. Yeah, Salazar has been doing good, and that he got some hits today. Good on him. Haven, are you talking to me? When I was in Houston, I was in Wood Forest. Do any of you know North Shore? I went to the elementary there. My neck, my back, my neck and my back. That's funny. Yep, that's right. Astros record when they score 4 or more runs, 51-13. Yep, that's the thing. We don't really need a lot of runs as long as our pitching staff is doing their job. And now that we have Yordan back, our average runs per game goes up by almost 1 full run. Now, for those of you who don't understand what that means, I'm not saying that having Yordan in the lineup means that he scores a run per game. That's not what it means. It just means that having Yordan in the lineup causes not only extra run production from him, but it protects the other batters in the lineup, and therefore it creates more runs. It's just statistics. It's accurate, factual data. Ken says the one that Cam caught caused his stomach to spasm before it was caught. Pitch the heat. Yep. Abreu's a hero of the game, but is he the MVP of the game? I don't know that I would select him as the MVP. I think I'd pick somebody else. Maybe even Walker for giving us the lead right at the end of the game. Without that extra run, we'd be in extra innings. Yeah, I'm a loser, baby. I saw that. Another Beck reference. Have a good day, Philip. Enjoy your camping. Yeah, Walker needs to keep that home run look. Keep thumping the ball. David, it's not about who he has the most confidence in. I mean, you're saying some things that are like half truths. I mean, who wouldn't have confidence in Abreu? Everybody has confidence in Abreu. Even the opposing team believes that Abreu is, almost untouchable. Everybody knows that Abreu is good, but it doesn't have anything to do with that. What I said has nothing to do with a coach's confidence. It has everything to do with, does he need rest? Has he pitched too much? Does he need... Because sometimes a lot of times a pitcher will say, I want to go in, I can do it. And they shouldn't. I've seen interviews with major league pitchers who are retired and they say, hey, listen, every pitcher will say, keep me in, I can do it, or I want to stay in, or I want to go in. Every pitcher says that. The only time the pitchers don't say that is when they are really, really hurting. If they are really hurt, then they don't say that. But if they're gassed and they're tired, they want to go in or they want to finish. So it's not about just Espada saying, hey, Abreu is our pitcher of the month. He's our MVP. He's our best guy, and I have the most confidence in him. No. If Abreu pitched, just for example, if he pitched 3 times this week, then he probably shouldn't go in. It's not obvious. What are you talking about? It's obvious he didn't need rest. Just because he came in the game doesn't mean just because a pitcher is brought in the game doesn't mean that he didn't need rest. That's illogical. David, I am putting you in timeout for 24 hours. I'm sorry. I'm not going to bicker with you over nonsense. Let's move to someone else. Let's take a look at what our members are saying here. Yeah, Fishhead Fool says, every time you say that, I think that was a good drum break. I'm glad that you get the reference. That's funny. Uncle Joe says, North Shore Mustangs. That's right. My mom, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's where my mom was a cheerleader. She was a Mustang. Uncle Joe says, I'm in Sugarland. North Shore is a high school football powerhouse. Well, that would make sense that my mom was a cheerleader. If I can find the cheerleader picture of my mom, I'll share it with you guys one day because she was absolutely gorgeous. Way out of my dad's league. The only reason he was able to get her is because she got pregnant by her high school sweetheart after high school, and he took off. He went to another state to work. And so that was back in the 70s, 1974, 1973. And, you know, a single woman getting pregnant and having a baby out of wedlock, and you can't do that. And my dad was just a country boy, and he saw a beautiful woman. He didn't care that she was pregnant. He married her quick. They were actually married after my brother was born. They got married 1 month after my brother was born. Nobody knew that in the family until I found that out. Right after my mom died, they had to do a will or whatever and divide stuff up. And whenever I looked at the details of it, I saw that my mom and dad had actually gotten married 1 month after my brother was born. And I showed it to my brother and I said, did you see that mom and dad got married after you were born? He said, what? And he looked at it and he goes, huh. And he picked up the phone and he called our sister. And he said, did you know that mom and dad got married after I was born? And she goes, who told you that? And he said, Brandon just saw it on the legal documents. And she goes, oh, it figures. I'm the truth teller in the family, by the way, and everybody hates it. I see through all the facade and all the crap, and they really don't like it. Generally, people don't like it. A lot of good people like it, but people who like the facade or they like to stick with their paradigm, you know, they don't like it. John says Abreu is an all-star closer if he started off as a closer. He's definitely a real all-star. He absolutely is. Ken says, got to be Walker for MVP. He's MVP right now. He's hitting a lot of bombs. Angels coming up next. That's right. We got a 4-game series against the Angels. The Fallen Angels coming up tomorrow. We'll be here. Will you be here? I hope so. Walker's got his swag on. Thanks, Correa, for hooking him up with a special handshake. Mark says, I went to Green Valley Elementary and then Tice Elementary in North Shore, Galena Park. Wow, Galena Park. Haven't heard that name in a while. My mom worked at North Shore High School. My dad was Dean of Occupational Programs at San Jacinto Junior. Man, a lot of these names are just nostalgic for me. I haven't been in Houston in so long. Daryl says, you know what's hard is you don't know how much you miss your mom till they're gone. Well, I know it might. I don't know how you'll take this. Maybe you'll understand, but I would say the main reason I miss my mom is because no matter how terrible things are in my family, between everybody, and as many problems as my mom had, and as many times as she hurt me and caused me issues, she still was always the only one that would continue to try to reach out to me and maintain a relationship. Even if things weren't good, she wanted to maintain a relationship, and she did her best most of the time to try not to step on my toes. But my mom is she was the type of person that would be like, she I live abroad, I moved to China almost 13 years ago, and during that time I traveled around Asia, came to Japan many times, and over 5.5 years ago I moved permanently to Japan. Now my mom passed away before that. She was gone before I moved to Japan, but I made it very clear to them when I left the U.S. I have no intention of coming back unless something amazing happens and changes in the world and in my life. I'm not coming back. And my mom would talk to me on the phone and say, "Yeah, I understand that. I respect your opinion and all of that. I'm not gonna try to convince you otherwise." And then a few minutes later, she'd say, "Do you think you'd ever consider coming back?" I mean, she always had to bring it up. And of course, she did it in a much softer way. My dad was a jerk about it. He said basically, I betrayed the family. I betrayed America. I lived in a communist country, which God hates. God hates China, according to him. God also hates Japan because Japan was the enemy. Japan is America's enemy. He lives in a strange world where he thinks that Japan is America's enemy. He watches war movies all the time. But my mom, at least, she could mostly put that stuff to the side, and that's the main reason I miss her, is because if she were here, even if our relationship is not good, I know that we would at least have some connection. I would have a connection to somebody in the family, even with my daughter not talking to me. She could act as some sort of bridge between me and the rest of the family, but she's not here anymore. So it is what it is. I'm not going to say I'm sad about it. But we did get over 104 likes on the live stream today, so I really do appreciate that. And we did have a couple of super chats today from Abel and Still Viper. I absolutely appreciate that. Thank you so much, all of those who donated, all of those who liked the live stream, those who stuck around and listened in, the subscribers. The Astros win this series. Barely. two games out of 3, and we're going to be playing the Angels starting tomorrow. Let's take a quick look. Game recap really quick like. If I can get up to it. There we go. I don't know why I had to reload it. Altuve homered in the first. Walker came up and homered in the first. 2-0 right off the bat. In the second, Astros got on the board again. Salazar bunted. The pitcher made a throwing error. Salazar went to second. Dubon scored 3-0. In the top of the third, the Rockies started getting some points on the board. Fielder's choice. A home run. And then in the fifth, they tied it up with another home run, 3-3, but they never would get the lead. Walker homered in the eighth to retake the lead, and the Astros would win 4-3. Pitching. Let's take a look. Astros went through 6 pitchers today. The Rockies only needed 3, but they fell short. Rockies walked just 2 batters, struck out 7. Astros pitchers walked 4. Alexander only walked 1. Okert walked 2. King walked 1. Okert was really kind of the weak link today in the Astros relieving lineup. Alexander struck out 8 batters, Ort 2, King 1, and Abreu 2. 13 batters struck out by the Astros pitchers today. 5.2 innings pitched by Alexander, 7 hits and 3 runs. Not going to complain about that. Astros should be able to handle that. It's a shame that he didn't get out of this with a shutout, but it is what it is. The Astros bats did just enough to win. The takeaway here is that overall the Astros pitchers looked good except for Okert. Okert got a little off, but Ort came in, and despite some crappy moments, the catcher's interference, he was able to get out of it. And then, of course, Abreu locked it down. Chances are slim that we'll see Abreu tomorrow, but hopefully we won't need him. Probably we'll see Kimbrel. And I have a lot more faith in Kimbrel and how he's looking right now than David does. You know who you are if you're listening. Come in here with all that negativity in the chat and try to ruffle my feathers. I don't tolerate that stuff. Let's take a look at the scoreboard right quick before we look at tomorrow's game. See what's going on. Anything interesting? Anything of note? I don't believe that the Mariners play today, so we're up by 2 games again. That's right, the Mariners do not play today, so we're up by 2 over them. That's good. The Orioles let us down with the Red Sox. The Yankees and the White Sox don't start for a few more hours. Let's hope that the White Sox can pull that one out. That's the only other game that really matters today as far as the Astros are concerned. Let's go back real quick. Tomorrow's game will be in the evening. A little easier for me. It doesn't start until 9-10 a.m., so I can sleep until 8, which is perfect for me. Lance McCullers is going to be on the mound for the Astros against Tyler Anderson. Anderson's win-loss is 2-8, 4.73 ERA with a 1.4 whip. 131.1 innings pitched. He's put in a lot of work. So 131 innings pitched with a 4.73 ERA. I don't know what he's been doing lately, but he's given up 130 hits. That's 1 per inning basically. But he's got 103 strikeouts. It's a decent amount. But a ton of walks. 54 walks. That's a lot. 28 home runs. That's also a lot. So it looks like he gives up a moderate amount of hits, a good amount of hits, too many walks, and a really good amount of home runs. Let's see what we can do tomorrow against this guy. Matchup predictor says 54% Astros. I like to think that we have a better chance than 54%. But as long as McCullers can go 5 innings and not give up too much, we're all right. But if he can go 7, and if we get locked down McCullers and he just gets a lot of ground balls and fly balls, maybe we'll get lucky. We'll see. We'll see. But that's it. That's it for today. That's the preview for tomorrow, the game review of today, and a scoreboard around the league. Let's take one last look at the chat, and then I'm going to be out of here. Daryl says Walker needs to stock up on shaving cream. Maybe so. Maybe so. The new Walker shaving cream, it will leave you smoother than the Force. I certainly hope so. Head-to-head series with the Mariners is tied at the moment. Yep. Big series against the Mariners coming up. Goal number 1 is to keep the lead in the division, and goal number 2 is to beat the Mariners. Houston, Texas Dave says, cheers and go Astros. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again to everyone who's listening. I think that's going to be it. We're done here. Much love from Geaux. Astros win this game, and then we'll be up on again at Dyking Park tomorrow evening for game 1 of 4 versus the Los Angeles Fallen Angels. I'll see you there for that game. We'll be here. I hope you will be too. Much love. I wish you health and happiness. Go Astros as always, and see you tomorrows. Bye-bye.